So last week we started working on this fire pit area and we built some chairs and attempted a patio, which I failed at miserably.
Well, this is definitely not gonna work.
So in this video, I'm gonna be addressing this patio, but not only that, one thing that I noticed was that there's no storage for firewood out here and all of the cool accessories that go with this fire pit. So we're also going to be figuring that out too. Let's get started. So we're gonna start on the firewood shed and kind of incorporating a place to store his accessories for that fire pit. Now, essentially we've got the fire pit itself, which will stay put, but the accessories include obviously the pizza oven, which is a big, heavy accessory that we're gonna need to kind of store on a lower shelf. And then we've got the outpost grill, which is just relatively flat. We'll make an easy shelf for that. And then the heat deflector, which has kind of an odd shape to it. It's got this thing on the bottom of it that we will need to accommodate as well. Now, not only that, but we've got the lid. When it's in use, obviously you'll need to put the lid somewhere. So we'll essentially need 4 different shelves to be able to house those items, as well as the firewood, all under a roof. Hopefully get some siding on there as well, so that we can kind of protect those as much as possible. I'm gonna head to the computer, come up with a design, and I'll get right back to you. All right, this is going to be our firewood shed, and I actually drew a lot of inspiration from a previous firewood shed that we built for our fire pit, but I kind of added on this shelving area over here. This is going to be where our pizza oven will be housed, and then the heat deflector shelf will just essentially have a middle slat out of it so that that little cone on the bottom of the heat deflector can rest in there. And then this will be for our outpost grill, and then this top shelf will be plenty of room for kindling over here, as well as the lid when the fire pit is in use. Now that we've got a design, I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting up some lumber, and we'll get started on this project. So to get started on the assembly process of this firewood shed, I'm gonna start by building the 3 decks. Essentially, we're gonna have a lower deck for the firewood and the pizza oven, and then we're gonna have an upper deck that's gonna store some other things, and then the top deck is gonna be the roof. So we've just got a big 2x4 frame, and I'll go ahead and get that all screwed together, and then we can kind of move on to the ins and outs. Might be easier to do on the ground. Now, if you want to build this firewood shed, I'm gonna have the plans available, but not only that, I'm also going to include the plans for my firewood shed that I previously built, which just houses firewood itself. All you gotta do is scan that QR code down in the bottom corner or click the link in the description, and that'll take you on over to the plans. So we got all our frames built, the 2 decks built, and the frame for the roof. Now we need to cut some metal roofing. Now typically I would use my wood and metal blade. Diablo makes one that I like a lot, and it's really easy to use. However, I have seen where you can just install the blade backwards. So I don't know how this is gonna work, but we're gonna give it a go, and hopefully this does not screw up this metal roofing. Oh, pretty sure I just lost all of my hearing and all the carbides on my saw blade, but we're almost done. Okay, I'm just gonna check this. Still have some of the carbides, but it's looking pretty rough. I don't know if that's from before or from now, but either way, it is cut. And all right, let's get this metal on the frame. So I've got a couple shelves here that I need to assemble, and these are just super basic, just some 2x4s. All they need to do is support the big accessories for the fire pit. And that's the thing that I love about DIY projects like this, is you can completely customize it to whatever you need, whether the shelf heights are varying based on the height of the different accessories and whatnot. So this is going to be just to carry the lid, which obviously it doesn't need to be this heavy duty, but we're gonna do it because we've got 2x4s and they're relatively cheap. Now the other one, I'm just gonna be removing the centerpiece, and then that heat deflector should just be able to rest in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble both of these shelves with SDWS framing screws from Simpson StrongTie, which is our sponsor for this project. I actually used those to build those 2 or the 3 decks that we used for the firewood rack, and I love these screws. They've got like a big washer head on the top, and they've got some gnarly threads on them, so they really grab well, they drive well. I haven't had any splitting even without pre-drilling. They're like mini lag screws, which I love. So I've got all of my materials here to put that woodshed together, but before we finish up that project, I'm actually going to fix my mistake from last week. So we created this patio here with just pea gravel. We framed it all out, dug out all the sod, and then put pea gravel down. Now the issue is when we applied our Easy Hold, which is a rock and mulch binder, we just sprayed it on, and I used less material, so we didn't get the bond that we were looking for. Now this bond would be perfectly fine for, say, garden beds or something like that, because all of this stuff here where there was no foot traffic is nicely held in place, but where people have stepped, it loosened right up. So for foot traffic, instead of spraying it on like we did last week, we really need to pour it on. Unfortunately, we had a lot of rain last week, so we weren't able to get that project done for the last video, but we're gonna fix it now, and we're gonna be pouring it on with a watering can to get that mulch glue deep inside of this pea gravel and hopefully give us a really nice patio when we're done. The process is gonna go something like this. We first pour on the Easy Hold stone and mulch binder with a watering can. That enables it to get deep down into that pea gravel, and then we're going to rake where we can to kind of turn that material over and expose some of that uncoated material that's below it. After raking, then we can apply a second coat and come back and compact that all into place. Now, once all this is set up for 12 to 24 hours, then we can come back and apply the third coat to ensure a really durable bond. All right, so I've got my lower platform kind of jacked up, and this is gonna be one of the legs. I've gone ahead and marked where I need it, but essentially it's gonna be 3.5 inches up off the ground. Let's see if we can get this to work. Should have brought my speed square. We'll get this all dialed in. All right, so I think I figured out the easiest way to do this. I ended up screwing a scrap piece to the bottom. It's flush with the bottom because this is 3.5 inches up. And then I inset it 1/2 inch. So I can just set this on here and line it up and screw this in place and then come back and remove that little space. Okay, so my camera stopped recording, but we've actually gone ahead and we got our top deck in. We put our shelves in, and I finished up my rafters and these middle supports here. So now we are going to attempt to put the roof on. This thing's just getting heavier and heavier by the moment. So we'll get this on, and then we've got some siding that we're gonna be putting on, but obviously we need access to the back. Hopefully it's not too heavy to move at the end. All right, so I've got my siding here, and we're gonna go ahead and get this installed. We essentially needed to wait for the paint on the siding to set up, as well as that patio to set up before we apply our final coat to that. I'm gonna go ahead and get the siding on this, and then we'll address the patio. Now the spot for the pizza oven is actually looking really good, but the only problem is that on the bottom of the pizza oven, there are these like little teeth, and those are what kind of locks into the fire pit itself. So it doesn't really want to slide in and out. You kind of got to lift it up, and this thing is heavy. So my idea is to take some aluminum channel and put it under it like this. That'll get those teeth up off the ground and allow this thing to slide in and out. So let's get this out of here and secure those in place. Now all I did was buy some square tubing and cut it to length, kind of chamfered these edges and rounded them over so they weren't so sharp. Drilled some bigger holes up top and some smaller holes in the bottom so that I can get these screws in here and secure them and keep the top of those pieces flush. All right, let's see how well this works. Oh, so much better. That's so much easier getting in and out. I love being able to customize stuff like this. All right, so we're on to the patio, and this is looking so much better. It's just feeling much more solid. Now, essentially, I think the best method for applying this stuff is going to be to actually mix it. So mixing it with the stone, you kind of set aside, they have portions in their instructions on how to, kind of measure out your stone and how much you need to add into it. But honestly, since we had all this stone down here, we just tried our best to mix it in place. But I think the ideal way is to make sure that you have the right proportions of the easy hold per the stone. So mixing it and then applying it, and that makes sure that it's all evenly coated. But we kind of made do with what we had going on here. And hopefully you guys will learn from our mistakes and not have to repeat those yourself. So now we've got to just apply our final top coat, and then this patio should be done. We're gonna go ahead and just come back and coat this whole surface. We should be good to go here. So I think this is actually gonna turn out really well. Obviously, we'll wait and see and evaluate it once this is fully cured and we can kind of put things on here. One thing I do wanna point out is that they don't recommend placing furniture on this, but again, we're kind of testing this out to see how far we can push it. Even though we didn't necessarily install it per the manufacturer's specs, I think this is gonna work out perfect. Now, if you guys do want me to come back and shoot another video on kind of mixing this in and testing the two different methods, let me know in the comments. So when I built this pergola, one of the comments that I got was no knee bracing. And as you can see, when you kind of push on this thing, there is a little bit of a wobble to it. So rather than just leave it like this, I'm gonna go ahead and install that knee bracing right now and fix that wobble. Now, not only does Simpson StrongTie make this knee bracing bracket in powder coated black in their outdoor accents lines, but they have this hex head washer, which is essentially just a nice little architectural element, and you pair that with the structural screw and you get this really cool beefy look. So overall, I love how everything came together. This patio is actually better than I even thought, especially with that first failed attempt. I was a little bit worried, to be honest, but this thing is pretty tough as well. The dogs have ran across it and turned on it and played on it, and none of the rocks have come up. So that's a big win for this patio. I would love to do this again somewhere else and maybe even follow their instructions this time. It only cost me I think I'm all in for like 500 bucks on this thing, which is not bad, including the fact that you can kind of make this whatever you want. There's no cutting, no special tools required. But not only that, the fire pit and all of the accessories that it came with it now have a home in our new woodshed along with a ton of firewood. So I think we're good to go here, but Dave promised me a pizza, so I'm getting this thing fired up for him. All right, Dave, I've got one more surprise for you.
Stop. Stop. Too wild.